In the prelude to this adventure, you and your companions discover that a platoon of at least 30 soldiers were sent from the City of Glass to defend Red Larch against the Xenomorphs, should they choose to migrate further into the heartland. These soldiers constructed a military camp outside of town and repaired the roads to make it easier to resupply the army that will soon travel to the City of Twyrif to destroy the Xenomorphs. While the soldiers were repairing the roads, one of their scouts discovered a sinister-looking dungeon in the monster-infested hills south of town. Normally, this would be of little interest, but the scout returned to camp with stories of a dragon's hoard of treasure. All the soldiers marched south to defeat the dungeon and win the treasure. Alas, something happened in that dungeon that changed the soldiers. Now they have strange mushroom-like tendrils sprouting from their eyes, ears, mouth, and nose. Villagers were killed by the soldiers in well-coordinated hit-and-run attacks that looted much of the town's grain reserve. All attempts to communicate have failed, and the soldiers have the entrance to the dungeon under heavy guard. You decide to investigate. After traveling to the City of Glass and dropping off 3 apprentice wizards to the master wizard Celeborn, you receive a small bounty of 100 gold pieces or a spell scroll. You have a short conversation with them and then depart to Red Larch to investigate this matter.
Right.
You guys will take it from here. Please begin when you're ready.
All right.
Say, if a mushroom started growing out of my ear, would you be willing to perform a surgery for me?
I'd certainly be willing, although with the nature of fungi, I highly doubt that would be an efficient way to end the problem. It would likely just grow back, as it would be impossible to remove all the contamination without some form of alchemical substance, which of course is why I'm here. Might take a while to figure anything out, but I'll try. I can promise you that.
Yeah. I'm sure we could use a bottle of this handy dandy fancy acid and pour it into your ear. That should solve the problem.
Speaking of acid, you guys have had a chance to do some downtime, and following the start of this, adventure, I'm sure your good friend, Mr. the Dwarven Clan Crafter, Mr. What was his name? Alan Brute? That you sold those Arun Hardhand, that you sold those potions of healing. He would have surely gave you those profits right before this game starts. So you feel free to add those profits to your character now if you wish.
Beautiful. All right. Now I still have the acid. And I now have a contact with that I can sell them with without wasting time. However, I could we stand to make a fair sum of money if any of us are able to find the contact of a higher standing, a certain standing to sell these to. I've got it under good authority that we might be able to make upwards of 900 gold pieces for these 4 bottles alone. This is a uh, this is a rather fleeting opportunity, though. This will take once they discover the source of the acid and how it's acquired. It's unlikely that anyone will be willing to uh, associate with it.
I mean, it wouldn't be the
Fascinating.
first time I sold something on the street. I don't know about finding anybody of a reputable sort that could sell it, though.
That's the problem.
Yes, I'm afraid I only have enemies in high places as of now.
It seems that's something that we're gonna have to look into after we deal with this dungeon situation.
Well, it's possible we might end
Hmm.
up needing the acid depending on how things go. I
that
mean,
is
we might
true.
be
That
able to
is
get
true.
900 gold pieces worth from that, but I'm going to be honest. It's not cheap bringing people back from the dead, even when you're there in time.
I see.
Well, do any of you know where that place is with those coins we're trying to liberate, or whatever's inside of it that those men with the fungus heads are guarding?
I was told it was up the road, up the high road from where they were.
You guys currently do not know where the military camp is. You just heard these rumors.
Oh, I see.
Should we
Is
perhaps go around
I
asking
would take.
townsfolk?
Who is the party navigator?
Yeah, I think the market might be a good place to start.
Okay. You guys.
What do you say?
Excellent. I'm hungry after all.
Now, Anna and Zara, your two companions, where would you have dropped them off?
I would have dropped them off back in. Well, if Zara didn't wasn't coming with us, I would have just dropped them off in the City of Glass since I've already uh paid off a week of lodging there for them, yeah, via downtime activity.
All right. Well, Zara would have followed you guys no matter what, so let's just say she is hovering behind you guys. And Anna, okay, she takes your advice. She is your loyal servant, and she will stay at the City of Glass. You guys travel to the marketplace, and you see a whole bundle of halflings. Trading foods, sharing stories, drinking, taste testing a bit of beer and ale. You see a stout halfling in commoner's clothes, with his sleeves rolled up. He is tending to a small garden with carrots and cabbages by the marketplace, and you recognize this person. Here is what they look like. It is Samwise by the marketplace.
It's good to see you safe, friend.
And he turns around and he looks at you guys like, "Oh, hey, hey guys, welcome back to Red Larch. Before we begin, party actor, please discuss with others what the plan is for the social encounter. Let me know when you're ready."
I mean, Samwise might know some people. We might not be able to get full value out of it, but we could definitely see if he has any contacts. As well as looking for
Yes.
checking if he has any information about the camp and the soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, his family lives here, right? They'd have been around when the raiding or whatever they started.
Yeah, you might think so.
And even if he
At
doesn't
very
know,
least,
he'd be able to point us in the right direction.
Mm.
All right.
my thoughts exactly.
Mr. Samwise, we were kind of wondering. We were able to extract some vials of acid by some complicated means, and we were looking to sell them before we
Oh,
went to investigate something.
Well, I'm not much of an acid salesman, but I'm sure you could find a vendor down in the City of Glass. That's the capital.
So we'd have to go back to the City of Glass for that. Well, we were going to be heading out anyway. We heard something about soldiers getting possessed by mushrooms out in a dungeon not far from here. We were going to investigate that before we head back to the city.
Oh yes, those crazy soldiers. I don't know what's gotten into them. They arrived just a couple days ago to protect us against the Xenomorphs. Fit, strong. They helped repair the road. But after they went to that dungeon, the dungeon entrance is just to the north. Sorry, the
Could
south.
you show my friend there on this little piece of paper in what direction that would be?
Yeah, and he points to the map. He points to a location just to the south, a little bit to the southeast of Red Larch. The dungeon entrance is just to the southeast. It's in the middle of the forest. It kind of goes into the ground. It's sort of an underground cave, if you will, that has kind of artificially grown and excavated to the surface. Yeah, they went in there, and then afterwards they came back with weapons and this mushroom-like tendril that, if you've ever seen mushrooms that kind of grow their roots, like just sprouting through their eyes, and they're still breathing, they're still alive, but they're just evil now. They came and sunset while the farmers were going home. We were tired. They came and just took all of our grain reserve. They attacked us. They knew exactly where to go, and we couldn't really fight them. They were really well armed. They were the ones that we're supposed to call to protect us. They took our grain and they went back to the dungeon. Their military camp is just to the north of here. He points down the road, the long road. You might want to take a look there. I know that a few people are taking a look at their military camp. It's abandoned now. All of their soldiers have gone to the dungeon.
I see.
When they attacked you guys, no one was actually injured. Is that what I'm hearing?
When they attacked, there was nobody to injure. I mean, there was no one guarding the food reserve. People don't steal here. This is a very quiet town, a very quiet village. Red Larch is known for its friendliness. So if you needed food, we would just give it to you. They wanted to take it.
Seems they didn't ask. I could have solved a lot of problems.
Has anyone been out to, poke around the soldiers' camp?
Well, a few of our halflings did go over there, but it's abandoned. No one's there. But it seems like the palisade walls that surround it. There's a small wooden fortification that's still working. The flags are still up. Everything looks normal, as if imagine if you were in the army and you had set up a great camp and you would decide to go take a bathroom break, and 5 minutes later return. It's just like that. It's like as if it was a perfectly normal military camp, except all the people in it just left.
Well, if they went out on an expedition into the dungeon, that makes sense. They wouldn't have been expecting for anything hostile to come back, even if they're what turned out to be hostile.
Well, is there anything else?
I think that's good.
I don't know. Did any of you have any other business with Mr. Samwise here? I know you have. Most of y'all have known him longer than me.
No. Thanks for the info, Samwise.
It's not a
You're
problem.
as reliable as always.
Yeah, not a problem. In fact, if you guys want, I was thinking of partnering with some other halflings to sell some food to Daggerford. If you manage to get back our grain reserve. If you don't get back our grain reserve, then I won't be selling anything. We'll need to feed the people here. But they're always in need of foodstuffs in Daggerford because of their expeditions beyond the border of our country. Would you care to invest?
Yes. Yes. That sounds like a worthy investment. I trust you.
Yeah, we'll give you a
Mm.
share of the profits after I return in a few weeks.
All right, that's no problem. I'll reach out, shake his hand, and if no one else wants to say anything,
Oh,
I
I'll
guess.
definitely get on that action.
Yeah,
But before we do this, shouldn't we recover the grain reserve?
yeah.
Oh yes, it was.
It's conditional on the grain reserve, Sam says, chuckling. Yeah, feel free to just reach out in the next couple of days. Let me know how much you're willing to invest, and I'll put that into a down payment on the, wagons, the flour, berries, strawberries, a whole bunch of stuff to set up there. I'm sure we'll get a good amount. I predict we'll get maybe 5 to 20% return.
Well,
I
hopefully
think we'll
by
be
the end of
needing
the week,
anything.
mushroom will be on the menu too.
Oh yes, that'd be fantastic.
Do you think we'll need anything to recover that grain reserve, like a wagon? Or should we just come back after it's safe?
Well, I I don't think you'll need it. As soon as you identify where it is, a few of our halflings will come over and help you out and bring it over.
Very well. We'll be sure to complete this and return to you when we have.
Well, thank you again for your time, Mr. Samwise.
Okay.
We hope that we'll be able to have some future endeavors with you.
Okay.
Let's go check out that camp.
Okay.
Stay safe in the meantime.
You got it. And Sam goes back to tending his garden. You guys walk north to the military camp, and let me know when you guys can see.
I think I'm riding my horse as well, but we don't. I guess the token doesn't need to necessarily be on the map. Oh, there it is. Never mind.
I don't see the map yet.
Give it
Oh, I see the map.
give it a sec.
So the dungeon was to the southeast. Was that right?
Yes, it is. Dungeon is to the southeast. Military camp is to the north.
Right.
If the camp is empty, and our best bet would be to head to the dungeon. But of course, going in without any knowledge of what happened at the camp might spell disaster.
I'm going to point to Nicholas and Mortimer. You two have investigative skills. Perhaps you will find something of value here.
Indeed,
Oh, I hope
I hope
to.
so. I'd rather not get it in blind. See here.
If anyone cannot see the map, let me know.
I cannot.
I had to refresh the page to make it work for me.
Okay. If you cannot, please refresh your page.
No, Mortimer, just
Alrighty, no
stay on
problem.
your toes moving forward. I'm quick on the draw with the spells, but I'm gonna need a little backup.
Mortimer, was it some gem you needed for a spell?
I need a jeweled skull.
Well, I've come into a little more money recently. Perhaps I'd be willing to loan you it if you promise to pay me back someday. I've traveled with you long
Look
enough
into
that I
it.
trust you won't run off.
Okay. Can anyone not see the battle map?
Nope, I can see it.
Excellent. You see a scrawny-looking half-elf female with red hair and jet-black eyes, and a leather-clad man with faded red hair and of dull gold walking around the military camp. A few hunters are standing beside them, looking around the camp. You have seen this type of military camp before. This is a forward operating base for the Republican Army. Erebus and Chad wave at you as you enter the camp. And this is what they look like.
Why am I not surprised to see you two here? Great minds think alike, I assume, for the same reasons.
I'm gonna walk up to Chad. I'm gonna look at Chad and say, you know, if you keep cleaning your teeth with a knife, someday you might cut yourself.
Don't worry, Chad says. I haven't cut myself yet, and it scares the pipsqueaks.
Besides, even if he does scar his face, he's just gonna lie about how he got it.
Maybe.
I've heard that scars go over well with some folks.
Erebus points to one of the scouts. Check over there. She goes over there. The scout goes over here. So, Erebus claps both of his hands and kind of rubs them in front of her. What brings you guys here?
We were snooping around for a little bit of information and a little bit of insight. I take it you guys are sniffing around for any loot that those soldiers might have left behind.
Oh no, we can't steal. We're not going to steal here. That'd be very, very dangerous. If we stole from the army during what looks like to be a war against these Xenomorphs, they would declare martial law and just kill us, hang us. So no, we're not doing
how
that.
would they know?
No, we're not going to do that. There are witnesses there, and that's something that the new and reformed Erebus would not do. She smiles at you.
Can I get an insight check on her right here?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, roll some insight. But you see, we did hear about the trouble that's been facing Red Larch, and we came here to help. Hopefully take some of the loot in the dungeon. And we were taking a look at this military camp, and you can tell that she is not quite truthful about what she says, only partially truthful. There's some nervousness in her voice, a little bit of guilt, a little bit of shame, but also a bit of pride. Yeah, we're taking a look around. Why are you guys here?
Well, we're here for the same reason as you. We intend to pay a visit to that place and liberate the grain reserve, as well as delving into the dungeon. Say, I've heard it's a dangerous venture. We'd be happy to have partners if you want to join us.
Partners, huh? Who is the party leader?
That would be me.
Erebus says, okay, what kind of deal are you guys looking for? Party actor, party leader, go ahead and take the lead here on what kind of deal you want to do.
A relatively simple one for sure. For sure. We're looking for extra hands, extra support, if you would. Considering we don't know exactly what in the dungeon transformed the soldiers, and presumably the soldiers themselves are now a threat. We're looking to, how do they say, even the odds. Despite our undeniable skills, there are still only 5 of us. I think it would be in our best interest to try to change the fact that the hell. We don't even know how many soldiers that there actually are. Certainly more than 5, though. Certainly more than 5. It doesn't take very much of a numbers difference to simply overrun even the most skilled of opponents. So I think you can see where I'm coming from here.
Yeah.
As for a little extra incentive, we got a line on some goods that were stolen by those soldiers.
Yeah.
We're promised that's a solid investment if we get it back, and I'm sure Mr. Samwise would be more than willing to take a little extra donation to make sure that the trip goes well. Like you said, war times and all that. Even us on the shadier side got to stick together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard about
Just
the
to
grain
make sure
reserve, and that's part of the reason we're here. Like you said, Gilmac, we talked a while back. If the Xenomorphs do win this war, it's gonna be game over for the country. We're not gonna have a country left to return to. Let's talk treasure, magic items, the dragon's hoard. How do you propose we divide up that precious gem?
Well, I'd like to say, and you're equal partner in this if you're taking an equal risk. If you go into the dungeon with us, perhaps use your stealth and subterfuge to help us get the upper hand against the soldiers. Use your slippery fingers to defuse traps. We'll be the muscle for killing anything easy. Equal shares, I say. What do you think, Cider?
I think that's a fair assessment. However, you give given that we will have to fight. I'd rather not. I say while you will serve in your main capacity as a scout, a ranger, if you might. Um, anyone else who wants a share of the treasure, they can't just tag along and do nothing. Contributions will be required, and then of course those with the most contributions, well, they'll have first dibs, as they say. Everyone gets a piece. Those who did the most just get to pick first. You know, as things go.
Well, I'll tell you
Cider.
what. If you do partner with us, well, I suspect there are going to be magic items in there. And if we divide them equally, someone might not get them. So,
I see.
speaking out of character, you each have magic items that you might be able to get. Magic items that you plan to obtain in Discord. If you partner with Erebus and Chad and give them a fair share, two of you might not get any magic items. They might be given to Erebus and Chad instead. So do you still want to make them equal partners, or do you want to go it alone? That's for you guys to decide.
How about I have a proposition. Um, we take we're given we're looking for specifically for some magic items. For reasons that I don't care to share here. How about this? You get a larger share of the gold, while we get more magic items, or in which case you can if you would rather not risk yourself in combat, you could simply lessen your role and then lessen your reward. Say now you serve only as a scout. If any trouble crops up, which it most definitely will, you will be simply be allowed to flee should things not go your way. If you take a hit or two and you've decided that this encounter wasn't for you.
Okay. All right, Nicholas, Cypher. Here's what I propose. If you want us to go into the dungeon with you, fight the good fight against these 30 well-trained soldiers, then we're going to want 2 of the magic items, or we want all of the gold. But if you want us to only, let's say, distract the soldiers and let you infiltrate the dungeon secretly, we'll pull the soldiers away from guard duty and let you get in there, then just give us 25% of the gold, no magic items. I think that's fair. And we'll wait outside and monitor the situation until you return from the dungeon.
Well, that seems fair. Does anyone have any reservations about this sort of deal?
I'm leaning
I quite
towards
like
the
the sound
latter.
of it.
Yeah.
You are okay
Mortimer,
with this.
just as an
Go ahead.
aside, not necessarily out loud, but Mortimer would forego his share of the gold anyways in lieu of the magic items. So
We don't have to tell them that.
no, that's what I'm
Uh,
saying. It's like
yeah, I know.
you guys would
Mortimer.
know that Mortimer's not super keen on the shiny bits.
That's all right.
Aramis,
I'll walk up to her.
you are okay with this. Go ahead.
Sorry. Oh no, no, I was walking up to her to close the deal. Firm handshakes and all that. If there's anything else y'all would like to discuss, that's fine.
Yeah. Erebus shakes your
Erebus, I'd
hand and
just like
closes
to
the
make
deal.
sure.
What do you guys? She turns over to you, Mission. What are you looking at here?
I just wanted to make sure that you're quite satisfied with this. I'd rather have partners that are happy to be with us rather than ones that are looking to stab us in the back at the first opportunity.
Yeah. You guys said the second deal is good with you. 25 gold if we distract and pull away the guards from the dungeon. Let you guys get in there.
25%.
Yeah, of the gold only. No magic items. I think that's fair because, well, I heard a song from a minstrel yesterday about the northern frontier. They say that a fallen angel has rallied the faithful to make a pilgrimage through Blood Rose Woods into the heart of an active volcano to tame a fire elemental. They say that all are welcome and all will share in the fruits of discovery. The expedition is set to depart from Daggerford in 1 month. Actually, that was a couple of days. It's more like 3 weeks. So we were hoping to get in on that action, and we don't want to take unnecessary risks before we embark on such a dangerous adventure. So that's why we're okay with taking a more conservative, more safe path here. Maybe you guys would join us. What do you
Mhm.
think?
That sounds really interesting to me.
Yeah.
It does. We do have just okay, so we have Celeborn's show, which I need to get to in 2 weeks, and in 3 weeks they depart from Jaggerford. No, that sounds like we could make that. We don't have any pressing we don't have any pressing matters. Might do us some good to leave the country for a while, actually.
Yeah. I'm holding out hope that the army will be able to put down the Xenomorphs, but, well, gosh, I've heard some rumors, and the army sent in scouts ahead of their army. Their army's set to arrive in just a day. They've rallied all of their people, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of soldiers coming over. But the scouts that they've sent to Twyrif, the city's been breached. The lower levels in flames. Xenomorph, the eggs, the little cocoons, like hundreds of them everywhere. So I don't know what's going to be waiting for the army when they arrive, but it's best to entertain some second options. Maybe I should be moving over
You,
to Fandor, to the other side of the country.
Excellent.
That
Yes, Cider, I think you should take on this.
that might not be the news that you're looking for, but that's what I heard.
oof. I can work with that information. We
Apparently
might not be able to.
they had sent in this like squad of four level 8 adventurers to go try to find the source of the xenomorphs. Paid them like 300, 400 gold pieces, but they couldn't locate it. They got bogged down. They managed to fight off the xenomorphs, but they couldn't. They just could not find the source of the xenomorphs. So they returned. They returned with a failed quest.
I see.
Well,
We might have.
sometimes it's not the level of the people that go into the mission, it's the brains behind it.
Hmm, well said. We might have a little more insight into this particular situation than they did, regardless of their level.
Yeah.
However, while we do have information and perhaps even a way to a route that they might not have had access to, we will still need to, well, as they say, up our game before we attempt anything so rash. Might be some time before we're ready to tackle those xenomorphs at the source. Um, till then though, there's no point in talking about it now. Uh, Cypher will begin. He'll do like a quick circle of the camp, and he'll attempt to investigate anything that looks amiss.
Yeah, looking around the camp is
Um,
just normal provisions, clothing, military stuff, but you do see a chest in the middle of the camp. It looks like it's locked. It's a very private chest. It's by a lot of maps and document-looking things. Do you do you do you
Hmm.
invade the privacy of the command tent and take a look at the military documents?
yes, certainly. I would like to push my way into the command tent and look around. Oh, with
100%.
Mortimer. Awesome.
Okay, so the chest is locked.
Let's see. Do I have?
I mean, I
I
can
do have
pop that lock
tools.
if you really want me to, but
I don't think it's a good idea.
that's kind of what I
Oh, we're
was.
not stealing anything, but we do need
Why
to know
not?
what happened.
If you want to
Certainly,
take a
popping a
look,
locked chest is a good idea. What could ever go wrong?
Oh, wait a sec.
I'd recommend against it.
Yeah, I don't need to spend a spell slot on clairvoyance to know this is a bad idea.
For what reason?
But
Remember the last time we got involved with officials? I don't know about you, but that spot's still sore on my ass.
It might
Yeah.
be information we need. Perhaps it would give us insight into the nature of the mission.
maybe
I
parse
highly doubt it.
maybe parse through some of the things that aren't locked up first.
Maybe let's confirm that there's no survivors before we go rummaging around the documents, because they might be willing to share something if there's anybody left down there. We don't know if everybody was turned.
Hey, Chad, is there a reason you haven't unlocked this chest yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We think that there are private military documents there, troop deployments, logistical plans, that kind of stuff, for the upcoming liberation of the city of Twyrif. We don't want to mess with that in case the captain of this garrison comes back and arrests us. So we decided to leave that alone. But there's no one around if you care to look at it. But we're not going to get involved in that.
I
What if
see.
there's something bad in it, like a plan for taking control of a city or something like that?
Well,
At this point, depending on who it is, like they might as well take control. It's overrun with the Xenomorphs. It needs some sort of stability.
That is true.
Even
I'm
if
gonna
even if
revise.
it's military.
Sorry, I'm gonna revise my earlier statement. We should not open that chest. I know how these military types are. Regardless of the fact that it's likely that everyone in this camp is either dead or worse, they will still attempt to charge us with espionage of some kind because we now know something that they don't want us to.
yeah.
I say
And
we
Kenneth
leave it.
will kind of lean back and loudly say, "Now, if it's open and pillaged by the time we get back out there, who knows who could have found out what was inside? But, you know, we got to go in there and deal with the actual problem."
I heard, and Erebus speaks up, I heard from my sources on the street that a military overseer is en route to the city of Twyrif. And the military overseer is a hardcore taskmaster from a prestigious military family. He served as a military attaché to the northern expeditions. During his military service, he forced local adventurers into his army and compelled them to do missions under martial law. I think this chest would give him the kind of excuse to do that. How would you react to this?
Just to make sure I understand,
Yeah.
you mean if his chest was opened, that would give him an excuse to do what he wants?
I'm saying that this might
Or do
give
you
him
mean
the
the
excuse to
content
do
of the
this, even though it's probably ridiculous. Nobody should be able to control and take away someone's freedom, but this might be the excuse he needs to force you into service.
Well, I
I
do
mean,
enjoy
honestly, if
military campaigns.
we keep moving and never meet the guy, that won't be an issue.
That is
I've been a
true.
soldier
With our
before, and
luck,
it can pay well.
I'm pretty sure we'll end up running into this individual at some point.
Well, maybe we can get some
As
information that'll allow him to let us off a little more leniency as we do this stuff on our own.
Did you mention a spell, one of you, a clairvoyance?
I detected a hint of sarcasm when he said it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that was sarcasm.
Yeah, no, it was sarcasm. I have it, but I really don't think we need to cast it to know this is probably not the best idea either way.
I think I might have heard of that spell before. Does it allow you to see through walls?
Chad comes back to you guys and says, okay, we've looked around. Doesn't seem to be anything abnormal here. We're going to head over to the entrance of the dungeon. Since we're going to be working together, we'll wait out at the front of the military camp until you're ready to depart. And so Erebus and Chad
Excellent.
kind of walk by you guys and head on to the to the entrance. When you guys are ready, just let me know.
Just a note, is there any less than confidential pieces of information laying about the command tent?
What would you... I mean, there are papers on the desks. Paperweights on top of the papers. Some letters. I mean, what do you think is confidential?
I'm gonna anything that's not in the lockbox, I'm gonna at least look at. I'm gonna go look at the papers in the desks. Having been a military man before, Remishton is kind of curious about what sorts of stuff they're getting up to.
All right, Remishton.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few letters there. So one of the letters is open.
Are the letters sealed? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The letters are a couple days old and opened. It's like a love letter between the captain of this garrison and his wife that live in Ornabire. It's like, dearest Tiberius. Tiberius is the name of the captain. Dearest Tiberius, I hope your journey is well. And it's like reminiscing, and there's a lot. I'm not going to describe the lovey-dovey stuff for you, but it's basically like a romance love letter.
Any other
Is
any
a
letters that aren't
romance letter?
any of the... Go ahead.
You discover that Tiberius is a hobgoblin, and they have a weird form of speaking, like a lovey-dovey speak. So it's... I'm not going to roleplay it, but it's like very, very graphic.
I see. Well,
it seems that he's enjoys writing romantic prose. And did I find anything else? Is there any other letters that are on any other things that aren't sealed that I could just flip over and see what's in it?
Yeah. So there is one piece of parchment that's out and kind of unrolled. So you kind of unroll it for a sec, and you see that it's like kind of an inventory of food, and it's a progress report on the state of the road. It says that the road has been repaired, and the camp is provisioned for at least 30 days.
All right, at that point, I guess I'll turn around and say, well, perhaps you've become the smart one now. I could swear my curiosity almost got the better of me. A part of me wants to see what's in that chest. But I'll take your word for it and not open it.
I'm always keen to see what people consider to be private information, but my backside still burns, so I'm not going to get that curious.
I know the feeling. And before we go into this cave, if everybody could come a little closer, Kenneth's going to go ahead and use his charge of Eyes of the Night.
Yeah.
and give everybody 300 feet of dark vision before we go into the cave.
Excellent. And
Oh, look,
Zara's
Zara's
like
here.
been hanging out with you guys. She's like, yeah, you guys go ahead. I'll catch up with you guys later.
Excellent. I was going to
That's
suggest that.
probably a
Be
good
sure
idea.
to stay safe.
All right.
Zara walks over to the command tent nonchalantly.
She's definitely gonna attempt
actually-
to open the chest.
Noticing her do that, I'm gonna go back up to her and say, I'm gonna dismount my horse and say, that chest there. You're not planning on opening it, are you?
I'm just leaning against the wall here, just relaxing.
Well, do as you please. And I'm going to walk away and get on my horse. If you find anything interesting, be sure to tell me about it. I'm quite curious.
Mishton, I
As
don't know
am
what
I.
you're talking about. Zara wasn't even here. Let's move out.
Exactly.
All right. So, are you going over to the dungeon? To the dungeon?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's go catch up with those ruffians.
All right. So,
Is it daytime right now?
yes, it is. It is approximately noon.
I'm going to tell the group I'm a little bit nervous about my horse. However, if we're facing soldiers out in the open, it would be quite necessary to gaining the upper hand.
Okay. If anyone cannot see the map, let me know.
When they attack, are they typically attacking you or are they attacking the horse?
Well, mechanically speaking, out of game, they attack me, not the horse, because I can redirect the attacks to myself.
Well, I could make
but
you,
in
if
game-
you're going to be running in there, I could make you a lot harder to hit.
Hold on. Just 1 second. We have a deal with Erebus, Chad, and their little group. Our job isn't to deal with the soldiers. They need we
Yeah.
hang back maybe a couple dozen feet off and let them distract them, goad them into pursuing.
So here's what's gonna happen. Erebus, you guys walk up, and Erebus and Chad and their 2 scouts walk with you guys to the edge of sight between the dungeon entrance and you guys. Erebus turns to you and says, "Okay, so here's the plan. I want you guys to go hide in the forest to the west, and we're gonna fire off a few arrows and crossbow bolts at the guards from the road until they break from guarding and pursue us. I think they will, based on their aggressive actions at Red Larch. But if they don't, then we'll keep harassing them until they finally come over. We'll draw them away, and then you can go in back into the entrance. We will subdue the guards outside of the dungeon, so you don't need to worry about them encircling you. But it might take us a little bit. We'll need to do some hit and run attacks in the forest, so a couple hours before we can secure it. But in the meantime, you guys can go into the dungeon and do what you need to do. We'll make sure that they don't follow you in."
Understood. Wish the
Sounds
best
good.
of luck. Crouch down in the tree.
All right. Party leader has agreed to the plan. Okay. Yeah, the plan goes off. At first, let's see here. We'll do a few skill checks. Erebus rolls insight to find out what the guards are doing, if they're alert. She gets a pretty good look at them. And the scouts are kind of stealthing forward. Doing pretty well. Evade the vigilant eyes of the soldiers. They fire off a few crossbow bolts. Some of them hit, some of them miss. That immediately gets the soldiers' attention, and they pursue. Erebus and Chad run away, but it does appear that one of the soldiers stays behind. But the command of the corporal, in a gruff kind of devoid of emotionless voice. It says, "You stay, guard the entrance." As the soldiers pursue Erebus and Chad and their 2 scouts down the road, you guys are hiding in the forest, so they don't even look at you guys. And the 2 groups disappear, presumably to fight it out. And now it's just left to you guys.
Right. Actually, we jumped him.
Yes.
Yeah.
The deal was for them to distract all the guards. I say this comes out of their pay.
We can always negotiate that after we get out of this alive.
Fair.
They tried their best. I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. Not as though they could have changed the minds of whatever's controlling these guards. All right.
Yes, quite the contrary. They're actually dealing with them, not just distracting them. This is more than I was expecting, to be honest.
Yes,
Cool.
yes. Let's get the move on this.
It looks like this soldier is a professional archer. He's wearing the uniform of the Republic, and his eyes are scanning left and right, in front of them. There's a clear line of view. There's no way to stealth past. Forest on either side, but it's a really dense forest. You might be able to go around, but you'll probably make a lot of noise.
Before my companions approach, I'm gonna kind of mount my horse and kind of lay low on it and say, got my lance in one hand. I'm gonna say, that distance might look big, but to me it's nothing. I can ride across that in the blink of an eye. Should take me about 5 or 6 seconds to reach him. I'm not afraid of being ambushed. Would you like me to take care of him?
Nicholas, do you actually step out into the open?
Oh no, sorry. I thought I was still behind the that
rock outcropping.
Yeah. I'm going to say anything beyond this point. I drew a line in the battle map. Anything beyond there, and you would reveal yourselves.
All right.
After you rush him, if he doesn't go out with the first one, I can always try and run forward and finish him off with something at range. But
yes, that was actually what I was going to suggest. Rushman rushes him, and the moment he's out into the open, the rest of us close as quickly as we can and fire off as much as we can. Regardless of how many miss, I think it would be better to just drown him under volume of fire. He'll have little choice in aiding in piecing any of this.
All right.
Are we in agreement?
Then instead of Mortimer, I'm going to go ahead and give that Vigilance Blessing to Remy.
Okay.
We can make sure you get a good roll on this.
Sounds good.
I'm quite confident in my ability to take him down in one pass.
A party tactician is the person that would have the power to plan out this encounter. Who is the party tactician? Is that you, Mishton?
I think it is.
Okay. Yeah. So it's your plan. So if you guys are good, please roll initiative. You get to act first because the soldier does not expect you, or does not. He's on guard, but he's not expecting like more guys to pull down the path. So you guys will
is Vigilant Blessing first. Advantage?
It's advantage on your initiative roll.
Okay. Awesome. Seems like it came in handy. Charger doesn't need initiative because it's joining my initiative.
Got it.
Well, it didn't let me select the charge.
Oh, I was talking about because it was on the tracker.
All right, go ahead when you're ready.
As soon as everyone gives the signal.
Okay. Quick question first. What do you got?
The mechanics involving Charger, is he just whatever Remington does, or does he act on Remington's initiative? Or
he doesn't have any actions, but he can use them for movement, and he acts on Remington's initiative.
Actually, does have actions. Just I can only be dodge, dash, or disengage.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, you guys also get, each of you get 500 experience points from social interactions. So please feel free to add that when you're ready. Whoa. Charger can move all the way there?
Yep, 120 feet. 60 feet is the speed. By taking the dash action, his speed is 120. This is what Remission was talking about when he said that as a cavalryman, he can close the distance in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, so Remission charges out there. The archer is stunned. He's scrambling. He's stumbling for his arrow, but he can't get there in time. Remission,
All right.
what do you got?
I'm going to make sure my mounted combatant's on. It is. I'm just going to, I've got my lance level at him. I'm just going to try to impale him right in the chest before he can cry out.
Yeah, make sure you target him.
Oh, I did not target him.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? It said like it's targeting something. It's making sounds.
No, it does that even if it doesn't target. Go ahead and re-roll, please.
Okay, here we go. I think I'm targeting him now. Oh.
Do you want to spend a inspiration?
I don't think I need to because I have. Yeah, you know what? I'll save my ability. You know what? No, I don't think I want to. I'll just let it ride. No, yes, I'm spending inspiration. I take it back.
Okay.
Make up your mind, man.
I'm having trouble deciding. No, wait. Can I unspend the inspiration instead? Use one of my martial dies. I just realized I have another.
Sure,
ability
yeah,
I
of
can
course.
use.
Go ahead.
I'm precision attacking. So instead, I got a 13.
13. Will hit. Well done. Just enough. How much damage? Go ahead and roll that damage for me.
Okay. All right. So, and I think it's not incorporating my dueling fighting style, which I took recently.
Yeah.
It looked like it didn't roll it last time. Oh yeah, it did. It totally did. In fact, it looks like it added extra, like too much.
Yeah, you're supposed to I don't know why there's a 1d8 with it, but you're supposed to just target yourself and click the button. That's it.
I'm just gonna. Are you okay if I just roll like the equivalent of the damage?
Yeah, just roll damage, or just roll it again, and I'll do the damage from the new roll.
Okay, so it's gonna be this 10 damage because it's got the masterwork +1 and the dueling +2.
Got it. Okay, you skewer him. He does take quite a bit of damage.
And I have a second attack, which is in the flavor of the game part of the same attack.
Okay.
19.
It hits. Well done. And are you
And
going
I
to do
think
precision
it's-
again? Because it added the precision. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to click precision.
No. I'm not adding the precision to the second attack.
All right. Well, it hits anyway, so count it anyway.
Oh, it added 1d8. I didn't see that. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
It's fine.
It's
No,
odd.
I'll take
I
it.
didn't-
Even without the 1d8, it would hit. So I'll take it this time. But yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with precision attack. Click it before you attack, and it'll automatically give you the bonus. And yeah, it does 18.
Oh,
well
sweet.
done. Does quite a bit of damage to him. He staggers back, bloody.
I guess I'm going to action surge and attack again because I did not get him. I have to kill this guy. Here we go. Action surge.
Okay.
Oh, is precision attack still on? I'm trying
Nope,
to turn
it's
it off.
not.
if it
It's not
is.
on. It only happens from
It's
one
not.
attack. So yeah, take another 10 damage. He staggers back. He's very bloody now. He is gravely injured.
All right, and I'm attacking a fourth time.
It hits. And yeah, it does-
And I'm using a maneuver to deal some extra damage. He takes 3 extra damage.
he's dead. Or is he dead? What happens to him?
Yeah, I'm definitely killing him. Just running him straight through in one pass.
He's just terrified right before he dies.
And it seems as if he's, as he's collapsing to the ground, on his death's door, as he's fading from life, you see the tendrils kind of fade away. And he's coughing, and he's looking up at you. And he's confused. He doesn't understand what's going on. And he looks off into the distance. and then the life fades from his eyes.
I'm gonna wheel my horse about and signal for my companion to approach.
Alrighty then.
Oh, are we ending the combat encounter? We cannot move.
Yes, we are ending the combat here. Give me 1 second. And we create a lootable, and you guys get some experience points. Go
Also,
ahead and
before
click the
we
plus button
yeah,
when you want to add them. The lootable is, I think it should already be shown to you guys, but feel free to click it.
And did you say we got some XP earlier in the session? I think I might have missed it.
Yeah, it was 800.
Not from the start, but like after the start.
Yeah,
Was there any
500 at the
afterwards?
start of this. 500 at the start of the combat encounter.
Okay, thanks. That's what I was thinking.
And this is
about.
the
Thank
loot
you.
on the soldier. So he has a few arrows, padded armor. Actually, he only has 1 arrow. Oh, in groups of 20. So he has one basically bundle of 20 arrows, a padded armor, a horn. So he couldn't signal for help, a dagger, and a short bow.
All right. I don't think we're short on any of what he has here. So I'll just signal Smitten for some help, because we need to remove the body from the entranceway.
Remission is
case,
loot. If no one else is taking the items, Remission is taking his stuff, not the armor though. Is anyone else trying to take the stuff?
no, I won't
Nope.
take his stuff, but I am going to make sure that his eyes are closed.
His eyes are closed.
Everything but the armor is taken by Remission.
I'm going to go set him underneath one of those trees, but, well, I guess we need to drag him inside so nobody finds the body.
Okay.
Yes, it's not like the splatter of blood will give it away.
Yeah, yes, there is quite a bit of blood from the lancing that Remission has done. And yeah, you look inside the dungeon, it's like an ancient dwarvish structure on the exterior. It looks like an ancient dwarvish mine that's been repurposed into this dungeon. Some of the pillars and support columns have fallen. There is a bit of scattered statues that have kind of decayed and fallen down all around the dungeon entrance. There are these nice carved granite steps going down into the depths, and a strange heat emanating from the cave, kind of the structure below, the cavern below.
Nice. So in terms of am I able to get the horse down into the dungeon with me? Not necessarily riding it, just leading it by the reins?
Yes, you can.
All right, then I will do so.
All right, well, before we go in here, I think it is about time that we had a break because we are approaching the 1 hour and 30-minute mark.
Well done. Yep, you gained
Right
a
on.
point of inspiration, and we will pick it up after 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody.